Friends, welcome to this new episode. Today, as you already saw, we have something different because we're going to get to know testimonies from people along with the videos that you yourselves have been sending. I recommend staying until the end, watching all the videos, listening to the testimonies, sharing your thoughts, and letting me know if you've had a similar experience. You can share your experiences by messaging the WhatsApp number on the screen. In audio format, you can add photos, videos, or anything else to enhance your story. Then I'll review all the material and contact you if I have any questions. And now, before we start, I'd like to tell you something I thought of that I'm sure you're really going to like. I know that many of you always write about the mystery and horror genre, some even professionally. This proposal is for everyone equally, and over this time I have received different writings, different stories, different tales to include on the channel. But honestly, I put them aside because I'm focusing more on stories about real experiences. I think the time has come. I've considered this for a while and believe it's a good idea. I'm going to suggest it to you. Maybe nothing will come of this because no one sends in any stories, but let's give it a try. It's better to try than to be left wondering. So I propose right now that everyone who writes, whether as an amateur or a professional, and wants to share their stories, should do so. You can send them in text format to the WhatsApp number shown on the screen, or you can also send them by email, whichever you prefer. And this new section could come out on a Thursday, a Friday, a Monday, maybe when there are no interviews. Any day is possible, but just know that it's not meant to replace any of the others. So you're all invited. I hope you like the idea. And if you write and you feel like it, you need to keep a few details in mind. First of all, if they're short stories, know that I'll be collecting them until I have a certain amount and then make a video with all of them. But keep in mind as a reference that the stories you send should be between 2,000 and 4,000 words approximately. A bit less or more, it's just a reference. I mention this because someone might send me a 100 or 150 page novel. That would be impossible because it would be too long, basically an audiobook. We're talking about stories and tales that can reasonably fit into a reasonable length for YouTube. That's why I mentioned the word count, just so you have an idea. It's not exclusive, it's just an approximate reference. Another thing is that I'm not going to change anything. So more or less, it has to be neatly written in a text file, which you have to send to me by email or WhatsApp as a document. Please don't send it as a message, as I won't consider it. It absolutely has to come in a text file and be neatly written. Another thing is that you have to include your information, at least the author, so that you appear as the author. If you want to add social media, emails, phone numbers, anything you want to include, please make sure to leave it there. That way, anyone interested who sees what you did has a way to contact you. And why not end up editing a book? Hopefully that's the case, friends. Let's not waste any more time and let's get started with the first case of the night. Remember the famous swing from Fermat? Well, it's not the only one, because there are a lot of videos about this topic, I'm not kidding. Most, or at least over half, are fake. Where people pushed a hammock, pushed a chair, maybe one of those machines for working out. Then they film it and just try to make it go viral somehow. But let me tell you that today I bring you a case that's different, because at least it convinced me. Let's listen to the person's testimony briefly telling how it happened, and let's watch some videos. The videos are several minutes long, so I won't show you all of them as it's too much. But really, the swing keeps moving for minutes. It even feels like someone is swinging there and never loses momentum at any point. Friends, listen to the testimony and then we'll watch the footage.
My name is Verónica. I am from La Falda in the province of Córdoba. And this just happened today, Monday, September 8th. We were coming from the pharmacy, walking through the plaza. Then I tell my partner at 9:30 at night, I I say that swing is moving by itself. The swing moves only slightly, yes.
What's up? We're here, aren't we? Are you alone? And the other one isn't? Which aunt? What's up, Aunt? What's up, Aunt? There's no wind. Look at the trees.
2 hammocks would be moving, the others are still, they're not moving.
No, no wind at all.
Well, and there's the video. We started recording and the hammock kept moving, there was no wind. The other 2 hammocks you can see in the video aren't moving at all. And after the 3rd video, we came back. We went to do some more shopping, we walked around, and by then the hammock wasn't moving anymore. It had been moving for a while. At first we thought a dog had walked by, but we didn't see one.
Do the others see her? Still?
We spent some time filming because if we had moved the dog, the hammock would have stopped swinging in a few seconds, but no, it didn't stop, it kept swinging. There was no dog in the square, as shown in the video. And was it really something? And at that moment when we were walking, I said to my partner, the swing is moving. There was silence, and then that swing just started moving out of nowhere.
If someone had pushed it, it would move for a bit and then stop. But this kept going. We're on the second part. Now I went by again. This was just a little while ago, about half an hour ago, and it's still...
Like I told you a little while ago, the swing and Fermat and others show this anomaly, and it really makes us think. I think the fear isn't in this place. A swing just swinging doesn't scare us. And especially when you think that maybe what is manifesting is the soul of a child. What leaves us thinking is, why is that entity, that ghost, manifesting in that exact place? Now we're going to a factory, an important multinational company in Argentina, where something quite strange is seen on the security cameras. It's something that has been manifesting for a very long time. But unfortunately, as happens in these places, employees are not allowed to share any kind of images. In fact, in this place, they're not even allowed to film or take photos inside the factory. So I hope you understand that I won't be able to say which factory it is, where it's located, or even less share the audio recordings from the factory that he sent. He's sharing this with all of us. But basically, you need to know that a lot of things are happening in this factory. Not just in one specific area, but in many places where machines are turned on. You can see shadows, different things happen, and today we're going to look at some things that were caught on camera. So I'll leave you with the video and then we'll draw some conclusions in a little while. In this first video, the arrow points to a spot where you can see a mist or shadow that could easily be an insect, the camera. This happens very, very often because the camera lens loses focus and you see these kinds of very strange shapes. But at that moment, the strange thing was that the machines were turning on by themselves and without having any kind of malfunction. They would shut them off and then they would turn on again. So they checked the cameras at that exact minute and noticed that the machine was turning on. At the moment when this mist or this shadow passed in front of the machine, was it a coincidence or did this entity actually manifest and influence it? Remember, entities seek energy. That's why electronic devices, appliances and machines often behave this way. Like in this case, they usually behave in very strange ways when an entity is trying to manifest. In this video from the same factory, we see another of the many incidents that happen in this place, which is really, really big. Here they were recording something that manifests repeatedly, meaning they've already seen it on multiple occasions. Everything suggests it's someone in a logistics yard or similar area. He runs off for no apparent reason and disappears in front of the camera. Now you're going to see it in a moment. Something important is that visually, from the physical security posts, somewhere with security personnel, they never manage to see them. They can only be seen through the monitors that work with the cameras pointing in that direction. I also want to highlight something that the person who sent me this material told me, that over the years, like in so many other places, there have been many deaths due to accidents. And it occurs to me that maybe that's why all these manifestations happen. This short video lacks much context and was just recorded by a home security camera. I'd like to know what you think, whether it was an insect or if it was really something that manifested. We'll now watch several videos with testimony from the person who sent them. But to give you a little preview, I'll tell you that this person lives in an old house with his wife, which was partially renovated. But even so, it still maintains the essence of the house, the original essence of the house. There are original furniture, decorative objects, and lamps here. Whether that's related or not is for you to decide later. Done. The thing is that this couple kept encountering different strange episodes, different moments that caught their attention. But little by little, this is escalating to a point where it's making their lives difficult and scaring them. Now I'll leave you with the testimony and then we'll watch the video. And of course, I would like you to watch them all the way to the end carefully and draw your own conclusions.
My name is Ariel, I'm from Tehuel in Chubut. I have 2 videos from something that happened at home, which I'll attach now. I live in a house that belongs to my wife's uncle. It's an old house that was renovated, but it still has a lot of things left from what was the previous house. Lamps. My wife's uncle likes antique lamps and things like that. Well, actually us too. For a while now, in the last 2 or 3 houses, we feel like there's always something lingering around. We've all seen shadows, my wife, my youngest daughter, and me, She even says someone is in front of her, but when we check, no one is there. And sometimes we see things move. Small things, but every day something happens, or every few days there's something going on. It's always a constant, and it always happens to us in almost every house we've lived in. But well, here a lot of things happened, like a lot stronger, more serious, and I managed to record 2 of them. Look, Valen, a while ago I was here, I realized that it was moving for a while. I realized, there it is. And when I tell him to stop being a pain, I cut him off. Alright, enough, don't break the houses. Enough, I don't care that you're here. It doesn't bother me if you move the light or close the door. Cut it out.
Go on, go. Stop messing around.
I'm going to show you. This is the area of the shop. Up ahead we have the shop. This is one part of it. Well, here is the production area. So when the shop is open, over there, that screen is the camera where I can see if people come in. So I sit here in this place. I put a chair here. I sit down and watch television. So I watch television, and here I look at the screen to see if people come in. That one you see there is the lamp that moves. I was here that day. Well, I had turned off the television to record right when I saw it moving. Well, in one of the videos, you'll see I'm sitting down. We have a bakery in the same house. The place is divided, the house is divided, and well, there are no customers, we sit in a specific spot. I'll send you a short video later so you can see how and where I was sitting. That afternoon, I didn't see any shadow pass by or anything. But at some point, I heard some strange little noises like a chiki like that. I didn't know what it was until I noticed that the lamp was moving, the lamp that was in front of me. So I have two daughters studying in Cordoba, one studying medicine and the other law. So when I see the lamp start to move, I talk to it. I always, when I see this shadow or things like that, I talk. I tell them to leave, not to mess with me, not to bother me, and things like that. That's how I feel. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I talk to it like that, sometimes it stops, sometimes it doesn't. But when I tell it to leave, I feel like I'm protected, so to speak. So I show my daughter the video. I record a video for her while I'm talking to her on WhatsApp. And I say to her, I don't know what to call this. That it should stop bothering me, that it should stop, that it shouldn't move it anymore, and does the lamp stop moving, and after a while it starts moving it again. The week I recorded the two videos was a week when there was a lot of presence of this black thing. I think it was 2 days, 2 days before or 2 days after or something like that, between one episode and the other. I see the shadow pass by. That morning several things had already happened, so I start following the shadow. The house is big, it's a large house, it has several rooms, hallways and everything. Ahead is a bathroom. I see the shadow, chase it, and watch it enter the bathroom. So I saw you go in, I saw you enter. I saw you go in and I saw your shadow. Son of, now that you're there, son of, if you're there. Just like all these days you've been closing the door on me, go ahead, close it now. Close it. I saw you come in, so close it. Damn it. Close it. Oh, come on, jeez.
Now I'll show you two videos filmed in cemeteries. The first one was supposedly, and I say supposedly because there's not much information, was supposedly filmed in Malagueño in the province of Cordoba. Maybe you've seen it on social media, maybe not. I'm watching it right now. From my perspective, I won't lie. You know, I don't make a big deal out of this. This first video makes me a little uneasy. Starting from the fact that it was originally shared on many social networks, on many news channels. In fact, they share it with a noise that was supposedly heard at the time of filming. Honestly, I'm 100% sure that it's a sound that was added to the video, that it doesn't actually exist there. It wasn't in the cemetery and has no connection to it. Then you notice something unusual in the background, which you'll now see and interpret for yourselves. Even though you can't really see any editing, as I said, it makes me a little suspicious. I mean, it raises a bit of doubt for me. Watch it, decide for yourself, and now I'll show you another striking one in a cemetery. And now we're going to the second video I mentioned, which was filmed in a cemetery in Santo Tomé, Santa Fe province. The person who filmed it was the night watchman at the cemetery at that time. Honestly, I always come back to the same thing. I'm being completely honest with you. You can see something very strange, and even though it's hard to see, it's pretty complicated to make out, but you can see something odd. It really grabs your attention. I heard the person's testimony, and the way he talks about it seems genuine. And it's not just what you see, but also what you hear. And also the behavior of the dogs, which is always a reason for alarm, because they really sense when something bad is present. Thank you. Friends, thank you very much for making it to the end. I hope you enjoyed these videos, these stories, which, by the way, were quite different from a usual episode, but I still hope you enjoyed them. Remember, everyone who writes, those who like to write, are invited to send me your stories by email and also by WhatsApp in text format. The video starts with all the instructions you need. This Saturday, also don't miss the episode, because I'm going to tell you what it's like and how to participate in the next giveaway. Friends, thank you for joining me once again. I'll see you in the next episode, and now I send you all a big hug. Bye.